doing Shelter Me by Cinderella. They were one of my all-time favorite rock bands. Today I have Joey DITULLIO singing, playing guitar, Paul Hammond from Get the Lead Out, Andrew Lipke from Get the Lead Out, Buddy Cash of Buddy Cash playing bass, Jay Davison playing horn. I'm going to play drums, and it's going to be a rocking session. It's 100 degrees outside, and we're rocking it. Jay Davison played on the original Cinderella track. If you see the video, see Jay with his shades, and he's cool. Little Richard's in the video, and you know, he makes an appearance, and he makes his presence felt.
Shelter Me was written by Tom Kiefer, the front guy for a band called Cinderella. And they called me and they'd say, we want you to play sax on this record. We cut it at KGEM, which was a studio in Gladwin, and then we also cut at Bearsville in Woodstock.
It's kind of toward the end of the Big Hair era, so it's a great song, but it had a lot of soul, a lot of vibe. What was kind of like the screamy kind of rock and roll of the day, it gave it a real kind of a twist. It was kind of a little bit of a departure for that style at that point, so it really stood out as something really cool.
It felt real good going down. I showed up and they had the track already cut, and I put the sax on it, and the record came out and they said, do you want to go on tour? And I went on tour with them. And I spent a year on tour with them.
He played the acoustic slide Dobro in the intro, which wasn't happening a lot at that time. It was more about the like big gated drums and the chorus metal guitars, which he had a more authentic Stonesy type sound and feel. But Tom always kept it real, and that's what we liked about Cinderella. They always had that blues-based influence, and they used real guitar sounds and drum sounds, and Tom was a great guitar player and songwriter.
Everybody needs a little place they can hide, somewhere to call their own, don't let nobody inside. Every now and then we all need to let go, but some it's a doctor, for me it's rock and roll, for some it's a bottle, for some it's a pill. Some people read the Bible cause it's giving them a thrill. I was one to figure if they don't like what you see, if you live in a glass house, don't be throwing rocks at me.
Well, what makes this a Central Philly song is they're from Jersey. They played a lot in Philly. I think they played the Empire Rock Room there on the Boulevard, and they were known as a Philadelphia band as well. We claimed them. It was dueling songs. It was Gypsy Road or Shelter Me, and I thought with the guys that I have playing it today, this would be perfect.
It's about something that a lot of rock and roll songs are about, which is everybody needs something to pull them through, to help them get through this mess that is life, whether it be pills or drugs or sex, or the Bible is even in there.
The song just went, you know, like Heartbreak Station came out and they had already had a couple of hits, and this came out and it was different. It seemed like it was a different thing. Tom was going off in a different direction, more of like his roots, because, you know, like blues roots or something like that.
And I was nervous at first because it's a very challenging song. There's a lot of, you know, jumping up to high notes, and, you know, you really want to capture the vibe of the song. You don't want to change it completely. So I definitely took a challenge in singing it. But once we got into the thick of recording, I just started owning it, and I felt way more confident than I did before, and everybody was loving it, and at that moment I just blew through the entire song, and it was done.
Check out Mr. Politician in his suit and tie, but when the doors are closed, there ain't nothing he won't try. Meanwhile, Mr. Medicine's treating his best friend's wife. Tipper led the war against the record industry. She said she saw the devil on her MTV. To get into the cabinet takes more than a key. Just like Jimmy Skeletons and his ministry we all need.
Songs that's talking about rock and roll as an escape, you know, rock and roll as a way to get away from expectations of life and the things that are really kind of regimented and rigid. So you don't want the music to sound regimented and rigid. You want it to be loose with a lot of energy. I think that the people here today are familiar with that feeling. So I think it's going to come across great.
Dave, it's like I always was a big Hooters fan. I think he's like bringing something back. You know what I mean? Like, and he's putting a twist on it. Like, this isn't exactly like the record. It seems like Dave has a vision in his head of what he wants the songs to sound like. I mean, he really has a vision for this, and I think it's clear cut. And I think it's a really good one too. And because these songs are timeless.
Giving my time to music education is a huge part of my life and is a big part of where I put my time. In fact, I've worked with David. All the times that I've worked with David have been around music education and given our time to that. I think it goes part and part with being a musician. If you're lucky enough to be able to be in a situation where you can make your living playing music, there's so much joy and so much of that reward that you can give back to the community, and I think it's an integral part of the whole experience.
You know, as usual, it's great to, part of our goal is to get people interested in music and music education, and so that's always part of the idea behind it In the Pocket, is to help people be aware of music in their life, and music education.
This is song number 15 for In the Pocket. Again, thank you all for your support. We can't do it if you don't support the project. It's been a gas. I really love this one because we have a new cast of characters on the track, and I hope you like it as much as I do.